So one of the things that I don't think my mother really understood when she left home, and when we would see her on occasions until she got engaged and everything with somebody else and then took us full time. But up until that point, every time she left, or every time we had to go back to my father's, because that's who we were living with, that's who had us full time, and I don't believe my father even had a choice. I think my mother kind of pushed that when she left, and he was put in a position that he had to stay home with the kids. He had to make sure he was home when we got home from school. He was the stay-at-home father. Maybe she paid for bills and covered. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. What I do know is we got the time with our father, who was the AB user, for almost 2 years. No choice in the matter. But at the same time, being with our father, there was nobody else added. Nobody that was new added. And through such a traumatic time in a child's life like that, and it's minimal compared to the rest of the trauma we experienced for years and years and years growing up. The divorce is absolutely minimal, but it still is traumatic to majority of children. What my mother didn't understand, that every time she left or took us back, and only spending on occasion every other weekend with us, or sharing us with another man and having to go out on dates with both of them instead of just going out to eat with just my mother, and spending the entire weekend with just my mother, or the entire summer with just my mother. Every time she took us back, or we went back to my father's, that time between us, that building of relationship was put on pause. Yeah, realistically, and to the grown adults, there is no pause. Life continues on and the earth keeps moving. But to that child, and between you and that child, and that relationship with that child, is put on pause until you come back. And when you come back, there is no time that has moved forward for that child. When you come back, it picks up where it was left off. So just because you moved on with your life, and you expect your child to suddenly just be mature and understanding enough at 8, 9, 10 damn years old, is preposterous and asinine. And in the order that things happen, my mom left. She went to New York and did adult photo shoots and was an adult magazine. Came back and living in Memphis, Tennessee, while my brother and I live with our father hours and hours away. She meets a man while stripping who comes to the strip club and starts dating him. They continue to date, and on occasions when she sees her kids, makes them go on dates with her and her man. Makes them share the same apartment that they're living in, which is a 1-bedroom apartment, with this other man. Then goes and buys a house with this guy. She's still a stripper. Gets engaged to this man. They move into this new home. Has her children on occasions, and what few occasions she has them, they're left at her mom and stepdad's house. To finally one day, when she comes over to get us, shows us a ring on her hand. My brother, who's almost 2 years younger than me, busts out crying, runs to the back of the room screaming no. In that moment, I knew there was nothing else to do except be accepting, because in my mind, it was done. I had lost my mother, and I'd lost her forever, and there was no obtaining her back. There was no getting that special time alone for a period of time, like 2 years, with my mother before she was ready to move on. There was no understanding or accepting of my feelings or emotions. So when I saw that ring, I couldn't do anything except go, oh, congratulations. And deep down inside, I'm screaming, no, I want to die. I don't want this. I don't want to live. But that's how I was feeling at that time. And all of those things happened in that order. She didn't even quit stripping until after my brother and I started going to school with her and my stepfather. I still remember the day that was supposed to be her last day, or not even her last day, but was supposed to be her going in and saying that she's not doing this anymore. From my understanding, I thought that she would be happy when she got home from that day, when she got home from essentially quitting stripping. And I remember being at home with my stepfather, and she'd been gone for at least 4 or 5 hours, at least, because she left shortly after dinner. And we had dinner at like 5 or 6 p.m. And this is like almost 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. at night. I couldn't understand, first of all, why she still wasn't home. If this was supposed to be her last night, as she had told me and my brother, why was she still not home? What was taking so long? She should have been home within a couple of hours, and that's just for the drive time there and back. She didn't bring anything home because she already had grabbed everything from work. So she had no personalized items that she was going back to get out of a locker or the bathroom or anything like that. So the only logical thing is, not only did she go back to say goodbye, but she went back to say goodbye to clients. And she went back to say goodbye to the other workers. And it's like, really? You're not completely done at that establishment to just finally say good riddance and be the hell out of there? Then not only that, when I heard the car pull up, and I ran to the front door and I looked through the long window that's right there, and I see that it's her car. So she's home. So I unlock the door and I open it. And I've already got like this positive feeling for just a split moment, because I'm thinking my mom's gonna get out with this big smile on her face because she's left all that behind. She's let the stripping establishment and that environment completely behind. And my mom gets out of the car and walks to the front door with her head down and looking like she's about to cry. And I couldn't understand why she was upset to leave something that she came across and portrayed herself to be and said so many times of how she hated it, how that's not what she wanted to do. But here she is coming home like it was the last thing she wanted to do. Like, it came across to me that she'd rather give up her children than to have quit that job. And that's how it felt in that moment. So when I saw her look that way, everything about my feelings and I know my attitude just dropped. And I'm like, what's wrong? She's not carrying anything but a purse. So she didn't go and grab any items. She wouldn't have left them in the car if she did. And she just says nothing and shakes her head no and walks past me, doesn't even look me in the face. And I can't understand why she wasn't happy to be quitting something like that, when all she spoke about was how much she hated it. But really, the truth is that she loved it, because later down the road I found pictures. And trust me, a child who's been around a parent or anybody long enough in their life learns when there's a real smile, that means they're happy, versus a fake smile. For instance, I could tell the difference in a fake smile that my mom may give, as in, I'm just trying to keep the peace, I'm just trying to get through the situation as quickly and quietly as possible, I'm just trying to get through this so I can move on with my day or get back home or whatever. Not the big open, enriching laughter that shows in the face of pictures of her on a stage, on a strip pole, as if saying, I'm really having loads of fun right now. My mother wasn't upset that she was a stripper. She was upset that she had to leave it.